I've been meaning to talk about this new calendar for Formula One. I've been meaning to talk about it, but I haven't had the chance yet to talk about it. So let's talk about it, chat. Let us talk about the 24 race calendar that is happening next year for 2023 season. And let's first of all talk about the stupidity that is the amount of traveling that is happening. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the tweets that have come out showing like the traveling that is going on, you know, the amount that people have to travel for the races next season. But let me show you real quick. So yeah, if you haven't seen, this is what the travel map looks like. 125,000 kilometers of travel. Now here's the thing. I don't think people realize this also doesn't take into effect going back to like their base, going back to other places, you know, that it's just not accounted for here. So this is literally just going from race to race. And I know what people are going to say. Oh, but blah, 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 blah. No. There's honestly no excuse. The only excuse I will give, and I will say that the only thing that is fair is there are tracks that have a contract. And with those contracts, there's probably a date range that those races happen in. So when you think about tracks that are locked into contract, I know some of the biggest things is like we're going Bahrain to Saudi Arabia, okay, then to Australia, then China, okay, back to Azerbaijan, then to Miami, then to Imola, then Monaco, Spain, you know, the classics. And then you get to the end of the calendar and it gets a little crazy where you're going, you know, Italy, Singapore, Japan, Qatar, back to the US, to Mexico, Brazil, back to Vegas, and then back to Abu Dhabi. It gets a little hectic there. But the problem is some of these places are legitimately probably locked into a contract where it says it has to happen on a certain weekend or a certain date range. And when it needs to happen in a certain date range, you can't change these things. Like you can't just on a whim change these things. So I'm assuming, on a side note, this is why F1 is saying 2030 be carbon neutral. And first of all, I hope that means actually carbon neutral and not the bullshit buying carbon credits, because carbon credits are whatever. We'll talk about that later. But you can't change these contracts. You know, you literally can't change these contracts till expire. So what that's saying is hopefully maybe 2024, 2025, they will change and they'll have a much more carbon efficient, you know, schedule. But even that, 23 races is insane. Always love more races, but sometimes it's just excessive. It's too much. We love races, but the poor teams. I'm thinking, imagine if you were trying to fly to all these races. Imagine if you were just going to all these races just to attend. I attended 2 back-to-back races last season, guys. 2 back-to-back races. So much fun. Had a blast. I was exhausted, and all I did was attend them. I just went to them. I just got to drink beer and hang out with friends, and I was so tired after going to back-to-back races. I was so tired that I got sick. So imagine what it's like to be a team, to be a member of one of these teams, to be a race engineer, to be an engineer on one of these cars, to be anything. I can't imagine how exhausting it must be. Oh my God, it's insane. So that being said, I'm very excited there's some of these tracks on the calendar. I'm excited to see what they're going to be like. Very glad that Spa's still on it and Monaco's on it. But I think 23 is too much. 23 is too much. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts, because that's insane. That's just too many races.